In progress.
All right, welcome to the latest episode of the Organic Fitness Podcast. This is a solo episode touching on the likes of three main topics. For those of you watching on YouTube, you most certainly will see my blue light blocking glasses are on. It is quite dark because it's in the evening, and that's just, I suppose, one of the healthy habits that I do on a regular basis to improve my overall health. So we'll get straight into this week's show. Q&A. Question number one. Do I take supplements such as heated subject supplements? And then we go on to question number two. Training in January, what really helps in a weight loss phase? Key points coming up on that topic. With the final one, quite, I suppose, interesting on the fact that people contact me asking this direct question: is organic food BS? We will get into that. Most certainly I will be clearing my throat for that question. So 30 minutes, let's go. And straight up to the top, we got, do I take supplements? The definition of a supplement is to supplement what you cannot get from your diet. So if you are currently eating whole foods on a regular basis, I myself currently do and recommend just that, because for the most part, multivitamins are what people are currently taking that typically ask this question, containing a host of different vitamins and minerals. But remember, all those are found in vitamins and minerals. Antioxidants are found in, and prebiotics and probiotics that people are paying astronomical amounts for at this moment in time. They're found in whole foods. And why do people recommend supplements? It's the fact that because people that grow vegetables or farmers, they don't make a lot of money from vegetables or products for the most part. And that's a realization that you need to go back and try source yourself the best possible foods you can to get nutrient dense items into your diet. I most certainly must go and stress the point that protein supplements are out there in abundance, and so are all other different supplements. But this is one that I'm really passionate about. Please eat whole foods. I have no preference to what diet you pick. I've tried them all. Tried vegan, tried vegetarian. But the whole thing about it is not enough people are discussing and mentioning the words chemical free, organic produce. Why? Because organic, if you're eating chicken, fish, turkey, eggs, they have most certainly no use of glyphosate in their, I suppose, produce. The likes of organic animals do not get antibiotics on a regular basis. Following that, it's the likes of, if you are eating tofu or tempeh, and those I'll mention them again: chicken, fish, turkey, eggs, tofu, tempeh. You need to consume them in each and every meal for you to hit your protein target without the likes of a supplement. I have no problem in taking a supplement, because especially on the Organic Fitness program, it's something that it can help get you to hit your targets. Why? Because protein is key. It's one of the essential macronutrients. So that's proteins, fats, and carbohydrates that you have to consume for your body to run efficiently. The other one is healthy fats, and carbohydrates are not actually necessary. There's no essential carbohydrates. There are essential proteins, the ones that just contain all 9 essential amino acids. The likes of the omega-3s and omega-6 are healthy fats, which are both essential in your diet for your body to function at optimal levels. Proteins and fats. There we go. But I'm going to stress the point that yogurts are another easy, sure breadwinner for complete protein. So is cheese, if you eat those, and most definitely getting those from sources that are grass-fed if you eat these food items. When I talk and chat to people, whether it be in person at the likes of the Organic Fitness retreats or the other events such as the day course up in Mullingar, talking about, I suppose, optimal health, people wanting to improve their overall fitness in both training and with foods, and learning a little bit more about the likes of where food comes from, and either buying these specific organic fitness foods or growing a little bit of their own. Going forward, it's going to be key, lads. I'm telling you, 100%. And the next thing that is often pushed is vitamin D supplements. And it's something that I've done a lot of research with, studying and doing a master's in organic horticulture, having the advantage of a skill. It's a skill in doing your own research. And that's what I recommend people to do. And if you're unsure, suppose this is what I do myself, go to PubMed or just go into Google Scholar and type in the likes of studies that you want to find out direct answers from. So vitamin D, taken in supplement form, has a completely different effect to, I suppose, getting it naturally from sunlight. Then people say, right, Colman, I'm going to get sunlight every single day. Where I am positioned right now, I cannot produce enough vitamin D from the likes of the sun. And vitamin D is good for your immune system. It's most certainly good for increasing your happy hormones. And as a result of that, you can and may have to supplement, but realize the fact that it's not something that I currently do, with supplements having, I suppose, different effects on the body when you get them from whole foods, because there are foods that do contain the likes of vitamin D. So take the example of eggs. Chickens outside produce vitamin D when their feathers and their skin are in contact with direct sunlight. There are also fish that contain these essential, because vitamin D is most certainly essential for optimal health, the likes of other food items such as dairy products and animals. And remember, another thing that people, I suppose, and I currently took when I was younger, the fact is omega-3 cod liver oil tablets that may and also have been proven to actually not currently work with a lot of supplements because of that, I suppose, point that I touched on. The supplements have a different effect on the body as opposed to consuming them from whole foods. And the other one that does contain vitamin D is liver, if you do choose to eat so, which is the offal of animal products. And just remember this, what did we do before there was ever supplements? People lived and people, I suppose, functioned just fine. And I'm trying to get back to, I suppose, a more holistic approach to living a healthier life, instead of constantly relying on medication, vitamins and minerals from tablet form, and trying going back to more whole foods. Because when you go to, I suppose, a whole food diet approach, you gain the advantage, big one, of fiber. Fiber is so important. This is key for your gut microorganisms. It's an area of major importance if you want to improve your overall health. It's satiating. And when you're eating both prebiotics, which are all different vegetables, and this is why I have a huge emphasis with people that I come into contact with, it's the fact that I get them to eat more fruits and vegetables. Yes, that's where fiber is found. It's not found in meats. If you eat meats, that's fine. It's great. You have other different essential vitamins and macronutrients and micronutrients and antioxidants that you can most certainly gain the benefit of. You want to take a drink right here? So that's key, to try get it from whole foods. That is nice. Bit of clove tea. I love that. That is something that I drink instead of your standard teas, plus you're missing out on that microplastics that are typically in those tea bags. So other vitamins and minerals that are often taken in tablet form are vitamin C. Again, as a child, I most certainly had vitamin C tablets, but realizing now, understanding food a hell of a lot better, where's vitamin C found? Literally in the likes of dark leafy greens, in most certainly fruits such as tomatoes, and in apples that are most important to get them organic. Why? Because they can be heavily sprayed throughout their life cycle. Those are two organic fitness foods that I recommend to everybody to get your hands on, please. And literally, if you realize that putting an apple tree in a pot, putting it at your back door against a south-facing wall, or if you're in a settled position right now, put a tree in the ground. In 3 years' time, you're going to have more apples than you can count. Then you chop them up and put them into the freezer, and bish bash bash, you have stewed apple for the winter's months. Same with tomatoes. Boom, winning on that point. And the next thing is magnesium. So many people are recommending, doctors, dietitians, you name it, recommending the likes of magnesium in powder form. I'm telling you, you can get your magnesium requirements very easily from whole foods. I'll give you the example and listing of it. And this is from the likes of my book that's coming out this year. I'm as excited for that if you aren't. Oh, I can't deny. I don't even have it lined up for pre-orders yet, but don't worry about that. I'll be telling you all about that. So magnesium filled foods, cacao powder, any type of beans, whether it be broad beans, French beans, hemp seeds, following that, dark leafy greens. Those 4 and 5 items are often whole food sources, and you gain the advantage of fiber in each one of those. That's it. Add it to your diet, and you get the advantage of much more satiate. I know what I'd rather sit down to for lunch, okay, than vitamin C and a magnesium tablet with a multivitamin with a fork and a knife, left and right, and I cutting a tablet in half and I put it into my mouth. I'm going, you know what? This is a lot of BS. Someone asked me about organics there in a minute. So that's being the main point on do I take supplements. Definition of it is to supplement what you cannot get from your diet. Please eat whole foods. Okay, training in January. What really helps with weight loss? So whether your fitness goal is weight loss or just improved health, and you're training in a gym or you're training at home, this key point is writing out your perfect day. And that includes you most certainly writing down what time you get up at, what you do first thing in the morning, first 5-10 minutes. Following that, if it is writing down the time that you work out for how long, what the exercises are. If you're following a plan, makes it much easier. Whether you made that up yourself or you're working with a personal trainer, go with it and put in maximal effort in there too. The thing is, you need to write down in your perfect day, the likes of when you get your steps in. If you're working from home, most certainly getting out throughout the day, it aids in digestion. You're getting natural sunlight on your skin, whether it's producing vitamin D or not. You can also realize, begin to benefit and realize that sunlight on your eyes during the early morning is something that I do recommend. Sun gazing first thing in the morning as the sun comes over the hill can naturally waken the body, reducing the amount of caffeine that people consume, which have negative effects on your adrenals and your sleep if you're drinking it in excessive amounts. I don't drink coffee. I drink maca powder and cacao powder. That's what I drink. New Naturals, Colman 15. If you want that, that's what I use. That is it in a nutshell. Next thing, you're writing down the foods you eat. If you haven't prepped them, I highly recommend. If you're struggling with meals, prep them. The second thing you can most certainly do is, eating healthy is literally chopping up vegetables and putting in a protein source into a pan. Okay, I'll just give you an example of my dinner I just had right now. You can also do this for lunch. It is any type of beans. I have broad beans that I have frozen throughout the summer months. Broad beans, get your hands on them, any beans. No sauce, no nothing. As a result of that, the beans go in. Then you go onions, garlic in a pan. Then you add a small bit of milk, whether you're drinking dairy, that's I suppose up to you. If you wanted to have your own oat milk, the likes of magnesium filled pumpkin seeds that are from a squash that you've harvested, you can make. I also have that link on a video for making like your own with the sultanas in there. There is another, I suppose, liquid based item such as a little bit of water, all put up in a blender, bish bash bash. You have your own oat milk that you can pour into a glass jar. Again, getting away from the plastics. Squeeze on the top. I didn't mention sultanas there, or dates would also be another good one. Natural sweeteners, lads, simple stuff. You is on to a major winner. And sometimes I actually put a little bit of maca powder in there. So I suppose it's just about using what you have to put into the pan for like your beans, onions, garlics. Need a little bit of liquid. Then you're adding in some veg stock and any other protein source and a carb. So typically what I had right there was sourdough bread. 2 slices of that, popped it in. Or you have potatoes cooked from the night before. You're really putting them in a pan and it's ready in 10 minutes. That is just simple stuff. And then I finish off that meal with yogurt, kiwis, and most certainly a sprinkle of cacao powder. Like I said, I love the stuff, kind of tastes like chocolate, and magnesium also aids in sleep. Yeah, because magnesium is really important. Why? Because it's used in 300 different processes of the body. Okay, relaxing the muscles is one of them, energy levels is another, and it reduces anxiety. There'll be in 3 major breadwinners for the likes of most certainly adding that in. And that would be either lunch or your dinner, and then also writing down what time you go to sleep at and following that plan as best you can. It's really important because for the most part, if you do want to write this, you want to write this down, you want to write it down. Doing things at random will most certainly give you a random result. You're eating foods at random, you mightn't be getting 10,000 steps. You are training irregularly, and you're hoping and you're wishing and you're hopping up onto a scales and saying, God, this is not working. You cannot, I suppose, expect a different result if you continue to do things willy-nilly and at, I suppose the word is random, straight up. You need to, I suppose, nail down a day that is, quote unquote, your perfect day. It doesn't have to necessarily go exactly like that, but the idea of it is you have now changed up and have one more healthy habit in your day, knowing what has to be done. It's a to-do list. You work towards it, and every day you get there. I'm a major fan of doing this. It just gets clear on what has to be done, and all you have to do then is do it. All right, it's about healthy habits and alternatives that are really key in, I suppose, a weight loss phase. And I always recommend people to train with added weights, and it doesn't have to be for that long. Anybody on the program most certainly will have a training regime that starts at 20 minutes and can progress to, I suppose, the 45 mark. And after that, there's no need. Why? Because if you're training 5 times a week, that's absolutely plenty. There's other things to be doing, such as cooking your meals and enjoying a healthier lifestyle with people, getting outside. And if you're doing a little bit of growing this year, winning, there's loads of stuff to be doing. Coming up in spring, also have that foodification course coming up in February. If you were interested in that, hit me up on the DM. That's a little bit of growing your own in your backyard, up on a windowsill, and then cooking and using those foods that you will gain the advantage of. Right, last question coming up and at you with the likes of, okay, is organic BS? Okay, straight away off the bat, I'll tell you what the word organic is. It's a registered term. So if you're growing fruit or vegetables out in your back garden, you can actually, by law, call them organic. You can call them chemical free and do what you like with them. Say, these are my vegetables, these are what I've grown. But technically, you cannot say the word organic. So if you do say the word organic, you need to be registered with the likes of a governing body, such as a soil association. You can also have the likes of Organic Trust, IOFGA are 3 based here in Ireland. Then there are several ones in the UK. There is a USDA approved logo as well, but all of those, for the most part, will have slightly different standards. But the main one to look out for is the green registered leaf. That will be the highest of the standards set by the European Union. So that looks like a leaf, which in the shape of, yes, a stars, indicating the image of a leaf. Typically green in color, but it can also be black and white. So that's what you're looking out for. The difference between organic and conventional is the fact that it doesn't use harsh chemicals such as glyphosate. Glyphosate is a carcinogenic and has been proven to cause issues with gut health. Gut health is absolutely massively important for reducing anxiety and depression. Why? Because your gut produces 90% of your serotonin. That's your happy hormone. It's the realization of people that are eating more vegetables that are chemical free. They're happier. Most people are going to ask me on a regular basis, that in DMs or when I meet them, say, Colman, how are you so happy? What in the name of God is going on? And I'm telling them, there's nothing magic about it. The whole key point is I am eating as much chemical-free foods as I possibly can. I'm growing some, I'm selling them in a small handful of local shops and restaurants. I most certainly exercise on a regular basis, but also improves your gut health. But food's key, because every time you make a food choice, you realize that it's either benefiting you or it's not. Organic food is not only better for you, but it's also beneficial for the environment. A lot of people talk about, and I also talk a high percentage about the likes of your gut microbiome and your microbiota, but there's also beneficial microbiota and microbiome located in the soil. And anytime harsh chemicals are sprayed on that, such as like glyphosate or other harsh chemicals, they most certainly kill beneficial insects, and a lot of them we don't see, and they can be tiny. They can be fungi and bacteria. Like in the 90s and even further afield in the 80s, there was a huge percentage of field mushrooms, and we've completely nearly killed those due to the fact that we're breaking up the soil structure on a regular basis, which organic regenerative agriculture doesn't do in as much as the likes of conventional. Other things are no-dig schemes, which is coming into more and more small scale growers, which I highly recommend people to go to. Connect yourself with a farmer, with a grower. Get your hands on the best produce for you, your family members, your friends, your partners, because food is medicine. If you want to be happier, you want to be healthier, you really need to realize that food's grown in the soil without the likes of synthetic fertilizers, which is forbidden in organic growing as well, is what you want in your diet. Healthy food is grown in healthy soil, and organic produce does exactly that. They're using methods to look after the soil as best they can. And for those people that often say, oh, I heard organic is rubbish, you can't even trust it. Firstly, if people are signing up to, I suppose, be part of a group and have to pay for that, it would be nonsensical for them not to look after the soil, because there's regular inspections. There's a minimum of 1 a year to test better products, soil on the site where the produce is created. And as a result of that, then that is a way of keeping standards high. In conventional, there is lower regulations and very few inspections, unless there is a reason for doing so, such as a complaint, or there's someone buying and using excessive amounts of synthetic fertilizers. Those are two main reasons, and that mightn't happen for a number of years, as opposed to the regular inspection minimum, as I said, 1 a year on organic holdings. And then I suppose people say, is there higher nutrition with organics, or is there any difference at all? There has been studies, and I would always go back to science, being a science individual as I push up my glasses. And there are studies to say the fact that there are higher antioxidants, which are so beneficial for improving your overall health, reducing stress on your body, which give you more energy levels. Those are super beneficial towards optimal health. Then there are others to say, studies such as to say that there are no differences, and some to say that there are higher omega-3. But for the grand scheme of things, to peel it back, pardon the pun, it's the fact that it's not always what's in organic food, it's what's not in it. Okay, and that's the realization. A lot of people, I get them to, I suppose, track their foods, and they will be counting calories, but not enough people actually count chemicals. There's so many different things that are added to foods to preserve them, to keep them producing such a high yield, which is against actually nature designed foods to be a certain way and be grown with methods that are in alignment with nature. But humans, being money driven, have most certainly totally altered that. And I just want people to realize that if you want to be a healthier and the healthiest version of yourself, it's eating local, it's eating fresh, and it's eating organic would be my preference for your overall health. And I don't get money, I suppose, to tell you that. You can be in any country, in any county, in any place in the world. And I just want you to do that. I put out so much free content on a regular basis that the whole point of it is I want you to be happier. I want you to be healthier. And it's something that I love. When I get a message from someone based thousands of miles away and say, you really just changed the way of eating food and my whole lifestyle and my way of thinking of around exercise, that's the coolest thing ever. And people that eat healthier are happier. And that's the direct link, I suppose, with your gut. Major believer in food, and good food being, I suppose, something that we all want to enjoy. And other than that, we are going to wrap up this week's Q&A. That was a good one, lads. That was good. Huh? How'd you like them apples? Hope they're organic. So we went through multivitamins, the likes of protein. Eat whole foods first, whatever protein sources. Make sure it's containing all 9 essential amino acids. Vitamin D, okay, can be consumed from whole foods and is produced in the warmer months from the sun. So magnesium, please eat whole foods again. Vitamin C, please eat whole foods. I'm pretty sure I could just go through all the vitamins and minerals, antioxidants, fiber, all probiotics, prebiotics. There are so many. There are so many that they will sell you in a jar, in a tablet form, and say this is great. And also some fella go, do you know what? I feel great after 6 weeks on this little tablet. And that's where you're half conned. because I'm sure they do work, but they're going to cost you an arm and a leg. And I much prefer people to spend a little money on buying something local or taking the time and the effort if you don't have the money to grow a little bit of your own. You're so surprised in what you can grow yourself. And then we went on to the likes of tips for people in January starting and looking to lose weight. Writing down your perfect day. Get clear on that. Time you get up, time you train, time you steps, what you need to do on a daily basis. Goal setting is massive. And at the day event I held in Mullingar, people went home with exactly just that, a clear indication of where they are now and where they would like to be. And that's what I get people to do, because that's exactly what I do. And what I do is what I recommend. And the final point is talking on the topic of organic food. What is the difference? It's grown without harsh chemicals. It is using regenerative agriculture, such as farm herb manure, the likes of nettle and garlic as pest repellents, getting, I suppose, people back to more whole foods that are, I suppose, in alignment with nature, as opposed to growing things just for yield and high profit. And with the main difference being not actually what's added to organic food, it's what's not in it. All right, lads, ending this week's episode, I suppose we'll touch on the things coming up. We have the nutrition foodification, but grow your own at home, starting early February. My goodness, that's coming up in 2022. That's the weeks, the months to be flying around here. And going forward, we have an organic fitness retreat in Ballycotton in Cork. I'm going to book in for that also. And next pointer is there are spaces available for the online CPOF program. Those are 3 things coming up in the near future. And as I always say in these podcasts, stay tuned, stay classy, and keep it organic.